Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking Success. Today, I am sitting here with Patrice VonMetzger, an amazing visionary in my eyes, and the owner of Sunflower Spa in Longmont, Colorado. They cover day spa treatments, including your massage, facials, manicures, pedicures, the good stuff. And even they have medical spa treatments as well. Medical strength peels, microneedling, Botox, and filler. I mean, the list goes on and on. I'm amazed. Patrice, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Bonnie.
So, I hit a lot of points on your spa because there's a lot of points to be hit. That's the high level. I mean, talk to me about your business. What are you guys doing right now? How does your place look today?
I am so excited that you asked me that question. I have been in the process of adding medical spa treatments to our litany of services for about the last 4.5 years. And we started out with laser hair removal and intense pulse light treatments to address dark spots and redness and Botox and some fillers. And we continue to add state-of-the-art medical spa treatments as we go. Most recently, we are so excited to include different kinds of microneedling treatments, from the collagen pin microneedling, which does an amazing job of building collagen in your skin and resurfacing the texture of your skin, to the Vivace microneedling, which adds the radio frequency aspect to the microneedling, which really helps to firm the skin. But we look for adding medical treatments that we feel like we can do appropriately and safely in our relaxed and luxurious environment, and yet still get the kind of outcomes that we can be proud of. Mm-hmm. And that's a big part of where the spa is today.
Well, that's huge. You mentioned the medical spa treatments, and I know. We've known each other maybe 4 or 5 years now, and started actively working together a couple of years ago, maybe 3 tops. But that was one of the amazing things. Is we did a video on microneedling, because that is something that's so hard to describe, right? And it can be scary. I mean, I know, when you were telling me, I'm like, I've got to see this. And I remember you saying, yeah, everyone's got to see this, because, you can't really understand. And so, doing the Vivace video was the first one we did, and that was an amazing project. Just to clear it up, I mean, like the microneedling, what is that level of medical spa treatment, and who runs that? What sets you guys apart from being able to bring that to people in your spa?
We can do these high-level medical treatments like collagen pin microneedling or Vivace microneedling, or PRP, platelet-rich plasma, in our environment safely, because we have the right equipment and we have the right staff doing those treatments. The majority of our medical spa treatments are performed by one of our nurses. We have 2 nurses on staff. We have Barbie and Danny, and they each do their own specific treatments, the treatments that they specialize in, and they bring that expertise to us. And we can do all these treatments not in a doctor's office type environment, but in our day spa type environment, which is dimmed lights, unless of course we need spotlights, soft music, comfortable facial tables. And so we really marry what I think of as the best of both worlds. You can come in and get the outcomes and the results-oriented treatments that most people today are really looking for, but in an environment that's a lot more relaxed and a lot more comfortable and a lot more soothing than going into a cold clinical doctor's office type environment.
And that's so true because you hear medical spa treatments. You kind of just, as a consumer, you kind of just jump over the spa part. All you hear is medical. And so I think that's one of the things that I love about Sunflower Spa is, well, not even Sunflower Spa. I mean, it really is you and your vision for Sunflower Spa in creating that atmosphere, to put people at ease. And that's another reason, why we did the videos. And, it was your goal to put people at ease, to help them understand not only the process, but the outcomes. Because, that I think is one of your big tenets is the outcome is so important. And if I'm not mistaken, that's something that you take very seriously, right?
Absolutely. The results that people can expect to get from the treatments are legitimate. I mean, the treatments in many cases are performed by the same level of personnel as in a doctor's office. They have the same credentials, the nursing credentials. They're often the same pieces of equipment. We just perform them in a spa setting and not a medical office setting. We still hold ourselves to very high standards for cleanliness and sanitation and sterilization where those things are appropriate. But it's not like we're performing brain surgery in our day spa. So we don't need to have a sterile bubble in
Right.
which to perform these treatments. So, we feel like we've found that perfect balance between a warm and welcoming and relaxing environment and coupling that with really truly results-oriented treatments.
Now, you mentioned earlier that recently you had added the medical spa treatments. Take me back a little bit. Is that something that that was your background? Were you in the day spa industry to begin with, and then just naturally grew? Or take me back to why did you even start with the day spa?
That's good. That's a windy road.
They mostly are.
We could go back there. I began my interest and my passion for spa when I had a very corporate career. And my corporate career I worked for an engineering firm. I was their regional vice president of human resources, and I traveled all over all the time. And I didn't want to have such a corporate career. I wanted to have a little bit more control over, I thought I wanted a little more control over my life. And I really wanted to work for myself. And so I began to search for an industry that I thought I would do well in. And my friends at the time said, well, what you always do, what you always talk about every time you travel is this spa that you visited, or that spa, or you went here. Because I traveled with people who were very, very introverted. And so instead of getting together after work and going to dinner, they would retreat to their individual spaces and their individual responsibilities, and I'm not an introvert.
Nope.
And so I, out of necessity, was forced to entertain myself after hours when I was traveling. And so I started very simply visiting spas. And I visited hotel spas, and then I thought, well, I'm going to see what the local spas are like. And because I visited the same communities sometimes 3 or 4 times a year, I got to go back and got to experience kind of the depth and breadth of what spa services are like out there. And then I happened to meet a spa consultant, and I ended up working with her and took some courses from her in her spa. She also owned a spa in Southern California, and it really became a reality. I mean, it wasn't, I don't want to make it sound like I fell into it, because I was very directed in finding my next thing, and I wanted to own my own business. But what it turned out to be was perhaps not as direct a path.
Interesting. So looking for something, and that's such an entrepreneurial journey where I don't know what's next, but I know I'll know it when I see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Right. And when it lands in my lap, hopefully
Right.
I can recognize it.
That's the goal.
Right.
Recognizing
right. Exactly.
it. So this comes up, and you just happen to be open to it.
Right.
And then you have somebody who came on board and said, "Let me show you a thing or two."
Right. Here's sort of our framework for success, and here are some guiding principles, and here's some education. And I spent 2 weeks working in her spa in Southern California while I took her training program. And the biggest part of the training program was, of course, financial, understanding the ins and outs of how to make a business successful. But those 2 weeks were absolutely crucial. And then, and then I kind of came back with the framework for how I wanted to start a spa, coupling that with my own experiences as a customer at the litany of spas that I had visited and had sort of collected a list of, I want it to be like this, not like that. I want my experience to be like this. I want the interior to look like this. And so I sort of gathered those ideas on my way and then sort of brought them all together when we opened the spa. And we opened just about in November. Will be 13 years ago.
Wow.
When my daughter was 2.5, she's now 16. We opened with just day spa services, facials, massages, manicures, pedicures, some waxing, and did that for a long time before I started to get older and started to realize I am interested in these medical treatments. These things are becoming increasingly important to me, and I think the people in my world, that really is what fostered my interest in adding medical treatments, was personally based on my own interest, but also based on the interest of our clientele, our client base, and just society in general wanting more results out of their time at the spa. The relaxation aspect and the good skincare aspect and the therapeutic benefits of massage are still very relevant, but I think that people are always looking for how can I get more bang for my buck, more out of my time too. I'd like to still be able to relax, but how can I, not have my age, my showing up on my face quite so literally.
Right.
Every day.
Well, that's, and I love that, but I want to go back because I think there's something that fascinates me, and it's almost just glazed over a little bit.
Okay.
And that is,
I was trying to be concise.
yeah, no, you did great. But I mean, it's so true because you didn't go in as somebody who has worked at spas and decided to go out on their own. And that's what I love about your journey and how it inspires me is you specifically went into it as a business owner, right? I mean, that's, that was, I want to own a business and I enjoy spas and let me learn what I can to bring forth your vision, because you don't actually do treatments.
No, I don't do treatments at all. I don't, as a matter of fact, I have very deliberately not done treatments from the very beginning. It's tempting sometimes to think, I'm capable of doing them. I'm capable of going and getting a license to be an esthetician or a massage therapist or a nail technician, but I very deliberately chose not to be the person in the treatment room because I can't imagine being able to split myself in half so completely that I could focus all of my energy and all of my attention on one client and give them 100% of my focus for that amount of time without thinking about the demands of the business. And I was a little bit concerned that I wouldn't be able to have that duality, and that the business would suffer if I focused exclusively on my clients, the people that were right in front of me. And I knew that the number one reason that businesses, spa businesses, day spa businesses weren't successful in the ones that I had studied and used as examples were because the business was too dependent on the revenue that the owner generated, that person could never get away from the treatment room to focus on the business. And so in essence, what happened is that business becomes a sole practitionership with a couple of extra people, with a couple of other things added in. And so my vision was very different from the get-go, where I wanted to have the best staff. And I get asked a lot of times, what is it that you do? And what is it that I do well? And I think that if I had to choose one thing, probably the thing that I'm the best at, and that's also my background, is hiring the right person, having the right person. And it's certainly not perfect, but I can tell that the staff has evolved over the years. Some of the staff has stayed and grown and changed, and some of who I've looked for, the skills that I'm looking for are sometimes very different. And I think that that's really one of my gifts, is finding the right person and the right skill set and having that person. And then when they're there, trusting that person.
Oh, that's huge. And that's a hiccup that a lot of business owners, don't put that effort into finding the right person at the get-go. It's just, I just need somebody. I just need to fill this spot, which, I'm not putting down anybody, but, that is the quicksand that a lot of, we entrepreneurs tend to fall into, in addition to what you said, you avoided. And to be able, I'll be honest with you, to be able to sit here and objectively look at yourself and say, I could not give 100% to my client, but at the same time, that's what you have your staff doing.
Right.
That is because that's important to you, and knowing that you couldn't do it.
Right.
To be able to have that type of self-knowledge.
Well, I know that I could do I could do the job technically. And I'm sure there would be times when it would be easier than others to have that level of focus. But in the long run, from a sustainability standpoint, it was pretty clear to me that I needed to step away from the hands-on and really focus on running the business. And, just like having the right people in place and empowering them and trusting them. But I take care of the things that they're not good at, because they're great at the hands-on, technical, doing the services, making that connection with people, and going in depth and really understanding every facet of what they're offering. But they're not great at running a business and doing the marketing and understanding the financials, and they're not thrilled about doing inventory and making sure that the laundry is there. And and so I take away a lot of that. So for them, even unlike being a sole practitioner, they don't have to stop at the beauty supply on their way to work and make sure that they have what they need to do their job that day, because that's there.
Right.
They don't have to stay late and fold towels, because that's there. They don't have to take sheets home and wash them, because those are there. So they, in a lot of ways, experience the best of both worlds, in that they do come to work for someone else, but a lot of that behind the scenes stuff is done for them, so that they can really focus on what they love, which is the the contact with their clients.
No, absolutely. And, I love how, you mentioned bringing in the right people, because one of the things that I adore about you is it's always about growth. And so, when we started talking about Vivace and the microneedling, and you introduced me to what a medical spa treatment looks like, you were very quick to say, because I've got Danny, because I've got the right people, I am able to bring this to my clients. And at the end of the day, that's your end goal, is to bring the best to your clients. And so again, it's like, so let's go back to like the medical spa treatments and adding those. Was that something that you had seen way back when that you eventually wanted to get into, or was that another thing that fell into your lap?
No, it didn't fall into my lap. It's funny that you say that, because I have known Danny, who was my first medical spa hire. Was my first Medi Spa nurse, and I have known her for a long time. We used to live in the same neighborhood in Old Town, and her children and my daughter are of similar age, and we had friends in common, and we would sometimes go to like 4th of July barbecues, and we would see each other. Didn't know her well, but definitely knew her. She came in for manicures and pedicures when she was working in Denver, so known her for a long time. And one 4th of July barbecue, we happened to be sitting next to each other talking and checking in. How's it going? What are you doing? She said, I'm going to nursing school. I said, oh, good. When you're done, call me, because I've wanted to add medical treatments for a long time. And I think that the best way to do that is to have a nurse do those treatments. And so when she finished with nursing school, she came and she said, okay, I'm ready. And we sort of went about it together. We kind of added her 19 years of skincare and aesthetics experience to her nursing experience and her nursing credentials, and then just started to add one medical treatment after another until we kind of built the repertoire of services that she offers. And so she she started out doing laser hair removal, IPL, and injectables. And that, coupled with the skincare that she was doing, was perfect. That was our perfect entry into the medical arena. And from there, we've just added and identified new opportunities and new equipment and new procedures that we think are the right procedures for the results that we're looking for. And I think an example might be when we were doing great skincare, and we were addressing hair removal with the laser hair removal. The IPL really helped us with individuals who have brown spots from sun damage, that's called hyperpigmentation, or redness from broken capillaries. The IPL is great for that.
What is IPL again?
IPL is intense pulse light, and that light targets brown pigmentation and redness in the skin. And so it really focuses on removing that darkened pigmentation, lightening it, and then cauterizing those little tiny broken capillaries. So you have a more even tone to your skin, not so much redness, not so many brown spots. And then the injectables. The Botox helps us with those furrows that you get between your brow when you're frowning at people, especially your children, and the wrinkles that you get on your forehead when you raise and lower your eyebrows, and the squinty lines that you get around your eyes when you're trying to see something 400 miles away.
Got all of that.
The Botox was perfect for that. And then the filler really helped The filler is literally refilling the loss of bone that happens as you age.
The loss of bone?
The loss of bone. Everyone loses bone as they age. That's like osteoporosis. Your bones become more porous, and you lose the fullness in your face because you have bone loss. So not only do you address the concerns with the lack of collagen in the skin and the increased wrinkling of the skin as you age, but then you couple that with the loss of bone, like along your forehead and your cheekbones. Everybody experiences some degree of bone loss. And so the fillers are perfect because you refill that lost bone, and then you can fill the wrinkles or creases in the skin. So fillers are exactly that. It's just refilling the losses in your skin. So those 4 things were a great place for us to start.
Absolutely.
But then we were like, gosh, filler doesn't address the little turkey neck. So what could we do? And we started to research. Well, there's microneedling. Microneedling helps to build collagen and helps with the laxity in the skin. When you see your skin start to not look as taut and as firm, and it's just a little softer, and you just see little crepiness like along your jaw, along your chin, along your neck. And so that we were really excited to bring in Vivace with the microneedling to help rebuild collagen. And then when you add the radio frequency to it, you take that up times 10 in just helping the skin to regenerate and be firmer and glow and have a firmness that you haven't experienced in your skin for a while.
So and that's great to have a partner like that, with Danny, that, you can bounce ideas off of and, kind of be, what, have you tried this? Have you heard about this? And to have that kind of impact with you as you're growing the business. When y'all started with the medical spa treatments, was there any unexpected pushback? Were people confused? Was it an easy transition for you in the spa, or did you have a whole brand new clientele? Because obviously, it's you're an entrepreneur. You want to grow.
Right. We found that some of our spa clients were thrilled. And just like me, they were thinking, oh, this is perfect. This takes it to the next level. So for many of our existing clients, they were thrilled to see us add a whole realm of new treatments. And then some of our marketing has been targeted at specifically MediSpa clients. Just because not everyone who comes to Sunflower Spa wants to do anything more than a manicure and a pedicure every month and a facial 3 times a year, and that's perfect.
Sure.
And so I would say a little bit of both, that we've had to definitely search for the clients who want these medical treatments. Some of them we've found in our own backyard, literally, and some of them we've gone out and searched for. And so we're sort of, we're definitely growing and expanding the service offerings to appeal to a broader client base.
Which is so important because, it was one of the podcasts we did, we had a conversation of plateauing. And if you plateau, some people think, oh, great, I'm keeping the status quo. But a lot of the entrepreneurs are like, whoa, wait, what's next? And I think that there is a risk. I think there's always a risk in business where, changing up, changing up what we're doing and changing up what we offer. Again, it's a different audience, but you don't want to disappoint your existing audience.
Right.
But at the same time, Well, I shouldn't make a declarative statement. I'll ask you, as an entrepreneur, um, and not being someone who I consider plateaus, for very long, but it's always looking at the next thing. And is that something that should just power right through, or is there a lot of you got to weigh your options and pros and cons? I mean, what does that look like for you as a business person?
What I think, some of the things that went through my mind when I was thinking about adding medical treatments was, how can we do these treatments safely, and that we don't go beyond the scope of what we can realistically do in a day spa environment, so that we don't put people at risk, we don't put people in jeopardy. So understanding, our limitations, I think, was something that we spent a lot of time and energy thinking about. What of these treatments can we perform? Can we confidently perform safely in our environment? But at the same time, it was really exciting, because it's like there are a lot of things that we can do, and that we have, over the 13 years that we've been here, we have safely performed lots and lots and lots of medical treatments, and spa treatments. And I think that we have garnered the trust of the people who come to us, and that they know us, and they know me, and they know the amount of research that we do, and the fact that we do these treatments appropriately.
It's evident for consumers. Your transparency is amazing. You're not hiding behind anything. Anytime there's a confusing treatment, you go out of your way to make it as easy to understand for the person on the street as possible. And I know I've found not everybody does that. Sometimes it's, oh, keep them guessing, and so to raise the bar, but you don't have to do that, because your staff and your atmosphere and your reputation precedes all of that, and you have transparency. Was that an important piece to you, or was that just an accident?
It's a hugely important piece. I really want to go to the grocery store and see the people who come to the spa as clients, and to feel, and to feel good about what we're doing every day. And so, absolutely, first and foremost is, let's not do anything that's going to put someone in jeopardy, and let's perform these treatments, appropriately, and be proud of what we do. And for myself and for the people who work with me, I want them to feel proud of what they're doing when they see their clients in the grocery store, or they're at their son's little league game, or any of those things, because I think we can't lose sight of the fact that we live in this community, right?
Very true.
That all of us do, and that we're not the St. Julian Spa in Boulder that caters to people who are visiting. We cater to people who live here. And so we're not interested in building a clientele of people who come to us once. We're interested in building a relationship with people who trust us.
Well, and I believe that that's part of your initial step into what type of spa you were going to bring to Longmont, where it wasn't, how did you put it? It's like a mix of, luxury and atmosphere, but at a community level.
Right, perfect.
You know?
Exactly. And we have talked about this a number of times,
Yeah.
what really, one of the driving factors that was in my mind when I started the spa and I started to add people was, how can we offer spa services that are the same caliber of spa services that someone gets when they go to Boulder, or they go to Denver, or they go to the St. Julian, or they go to the Mandarin Oriental in New York, or they go, they go and have spa treatments at some amazing destinations. How can we offer that quality of service right here in our own
Right.
backyard? And my goal was to have a viable alternative. You don't have to go away and spend your money somewhere else where we can keep it in the community. And I love, one of my favorite things is when clients, and they do it all the time, is when clients come and say, I went to the Mandarin Oriental in New York, or I went here in Fiji, and I had a massage in Mexico, and I went to the Brown Palace in Denver, and I think that the treatments that I get here are better, or they're just as good. And then if they're not as good, I'm like, okay, tell me how.
Right.
Right? How
Yeah.
was it better, so that we can continually improve?
Right. And you have to be open to that. And again, that's another thing that I find so appealing about you as an entrepreneur is your eyes are always open. You're always looking at, how can we make it better? How can we add something that nobody else is doing? Or, how can we improve? So
Right.
speaking of that, I mean, what is your visionary glasses on? I mean, what does the future look like for Sunflower Spa?
Well, some of the future is now.
Yay!
Because I found someone amazing again, another nurse. Her name is Barbie, and she comes with 25 years of nursing experience working with plastic surgeons in plastic surgery suites, and doing lot of physician training on how to do procedures. And she really wanted to work for herself, and so she's identified some treatments like platelet-rich plasma, which is taking your own blood and spinning it in a centrifuge to separate the plasma into platelet-rich and platelet-poor plasma. And you take the platelet-rich plasma and you can do a number of different things with it. You can inject it as if it was a filler.
Oh, wow.
So you run no risk of allergic reaction because it's your own blood. So you
The
can...
platelet rich, it's going right back in.
It's your own blood.
And she can put it anywhere.
And she can use it in conjunction with microneedling. So she can use it all over your face, and you see rejuvenated skin. You can use it on those areas like your neck and throat and décolleté, your chest, that are harder to address with some other treatments. You can use it for hair loss. You can do microneedling on the scalp and apply the PRP topically to the scalp, and you can see hair follicles be rejuvenated and hair growth stimulated. You can use the PRP in so many different ways. I think that it is the future of aesthetic medicine.
And you're doing that now.
And we're doing that now. Barbie has these skills, and she does an amazing job. And she's, she and I are similar in that, we're both so excited about the potential that these services bring. She added things. She learned to do things that she could do independently, that she didn't have to. We still have a medical director. We still have our physician who oversees all of the treatments that we do, Dr. Grover in Denver. He's amazing. The majority of the treatments that we offer, he also offers in his office in Cherry Creek. But she wanted to be able to work and do these treatments on her own with a physician's oversight, rather than for a physician in a physician's office.
Limited.
Right. So she wanted to be able to apply all of her experience. And she also does an amazing thread lift which is so cool. We demoed a thread lift at one of our events not too terribly long ago. And if you have an interest and you have the stomach for it, there's a video on the YouTube channel of me getting a thread lift, which is a little bit crazy. It wasn't painful, but it was a little bit interesting to watch. But with the thread lift, she injects literally a thread in through a long needle into appropriate places along your jawline, along your cheek, along your brow, any number of places. And then the thread has little barbs, little hooks, and you pull it and set it, and it holds the skin in a new position. And within 6 weeks, that thread dissolves and collagen is built in its place. And so your own collagen eventually holds that skin in its new position.
I'm going to find that YouTube video.
Okay.
I'm going to have to find it, yeah.
Yeah, make sure you can. My husband couldn't watch it.
Oh.
He couldn't watch it. He couldn't watch the videos either of me being injected. So he was like, oh.
Wimp.
Yeah, he is a little bit wimpy. But
so you're already moving forward with that. Is that on the horizon? You said it's now,
right?
But
right.
Is that
absolutely? These are treatments
expanding.
These are treatments that Danny is learning and perfecting, and we imagine that these treatments will continue to grow in popularity. The PRP in particular is because there's so little risk associated with giving you back your own blood, that it's a great alternative for people who have any concerns about injecting a foreign substance into their bodies. And we've just seen just really amazing, beautiful results from people with the PRP. And I think that instead of I guess our ideal is when I have a medical spa treatment, that my intention is I don't want to look like someone else, and I don't necessarily go into it thinking, oh, I'm going to look 20 years younger. What I find is that I always look like, oh, I look like I might have gotten like some sleep. Or I look like I might have been on vacation, minus the suntan, because I don't do that. But that I end up looking like just a fresher version of me. I still look very much the same. I still feel like I look very much the same, but I just feel like a fresher version. And I think that that's really sort of like our guiding principles with all these treatments that we're doing. We don't want people to look like freakish versions of themselves, over-injected and overfilled and overdone, because I think it's easy to do that. But just, but
Fresher.
Rested.
Yeah, rested. As if you got sleep.
As if you got some sleep, or maybe went on vacation.
Yeah, but that's a great philosophy to have, because at the end of the day, the people that are walking in your door, like you said, they're people they're people that you run into the grocery store, and you're going to do right by them.
Right.
Right.
And they're not the people who are in Los Angeles walking a red carpet, and they're the people who take their kids to the swimming pool and go to the grocery store and take their kids to school and grow up and grow old in this community. Right. And if people can feel just a little bit more confident and comfortable in their own skin as they get older, I think that's a beautiful thing. I'm not afraid of growing older. The aches and pains are not my favorite thing, but I like knowing that I can, just a little bit of a medical treatment can make me look like I'm a fresher, refreshed version of myself, and I still look like myself.
Absolutely. Well, you do that for plenty of people, and you have an amazing spa. Thank you so much, Patrice, for being here with me today, and Sunflower Spa, your amazing staff, just Thanks, incredible people that you have brought together, and they are amazing. And I think day 2, they knew my name. it's like, I don't remember talking to you, but
I don't know who you are, but okay.
but that's okay. I mean, that's just part of, the community spa. So, Sunflower Spa, you got medical spa treatments, amazing. I can't wait for the growth and to see a little bit more of this PRP. It's going to
Okay.
be great.
All right.
Patrice, thank you so much.
Thanks, Marty.